Hi, this is Joyce from This to That Creations, where I will inspire you to be original in all you do and to just be you. Today we're going to go ahead and do a mixed media art decor to hang on your wall. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So right now we're going to go ahead, I got this wood piece, at the thrift store for 50 cents. It was half off. Decided I would take it home and do something with it. I have this rose petal from a floral I got from the thrift store, my doilies from the Dollar Tree, another flower I got from Michael's, Mod Podge, Waverly white chalk paint, and some little lace ribbon that I got at the thrift store as well. I'm a thrift store junkie. I love to add that into my Dollar Tree finds. I also got that scrap paper a while ago, and I have tons of it left. I love those books because you can pick and choose different colors for your themes that you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this board white, this heart, white. You don't have to paint the whole heart white if you didn't want to. Basically, you just want the edges because they will be seen. But I decided to paint the whole heart anyway. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we get the edges. And you only need one coat. And it doesn't need to be perfect as it will be covered up. The edges will be shown a little bit. But I kind of like the dry brush and a little bit of the natural look. So I'm going to set that aside to start drying. I'm going to get my rose petal that I got from the thrift store in a bundle of like 6 for $1. I'm going to dry brush some white chalk paint on there to give it just a little bit of character and a little bit different to add into my project. You can leave it just red if you want to, but I like the dimensions and that it gives it on the project. So we're going to make sure our hands are clean. We're going to go ahead and pull out our handy dandy blow dryer, or you can use your heat gun. I just used a blow dryer up in my craft room. I do have a heat gun out in my shop. So you want to make sure this is nice and dry. So I'm going to start the process because you can't put your Mod Podge on like that. So I traced out my heart on my scrap paper. I'm going to go ahead and cut on the outer edges, and it doesn't need to be perfect because you will be sanding that off later on. So once we're done cutting that and trimming it up, we're going to go ahead and set that aside. And I realized there were still some wet spots on my heart, so I'm going ahead and dry that off before I put my Mod Podge on there. You do want it dry. So you're going to go ahead and put your Mod Podge on there generously. You don't want to put too much, but you don't want to put too little either. Now you always want to make sure you get your edges really well, as that's where your paper or napkin or whatnot will want to come up. And I got a smudge of white, but that's okay on my paper. So you're going to start from the middle and press out to clear all bubbles. And I use my hair dryer once again to dry off the Mod Podge and start the process. So now I'm going to grab my Waverly Antique Wax and a baby wipe. And I'm just going to dab it on my lid, and I'm going to dab it over my doily to give it an age vintage look. You can put more or you can put less. You decide. You be you. So on all 3 of them, I'm going to do that. And just dab it on there. I don't want it to be perfect. I don't want it to look like it's supposed to be on there on purpose. So next, I'm going to go ahead and grab my heart and trim off some excess that I don't need on there. And I'm going to make sure it's dry. You always want to make sure it's dry before you sand it off. I'm looking for my sandpaper. There it is. Now, I apologize. I did remove my project from the video because my table is kind of wonky, and I'm on the process of setting up a new one, and it shakes it and makes the camera move, and it would probably make you super sick. So you're going to go ahead and sand around your edges, and you're going to go in a downward motion. You do not want to go up and down, or you're going to tear your paper. So you're going to go downward, and it was a 220 grit, I believe, and I like to use those pieces because I can hold them better in my hand. So once you're done with that, you're going to go ahead and decide your placement. I put some Mod Podge on my little paper doilies, and I placed them down and made sure the edges were down securely. Then I decided to go ahead and put my rose petal on in 2 different pieces. And you decide your placement. This is just kind of what I decided with as I went along. I kind of had a vision in my head, but wasn't sure exactly. So I'm going to make sure to get the edges once again and press them down because I wanted that overlay look. And then right here, I'm deciding exactly what I want, where I want to put everything, how many I want on there. I decided I want 3 of the doilies on. So I can go ahead and Mod Podge that once again, press it down and press the edge down because I want it to lay over the side. So now I'm going to decide where I would like my ribbon to go. And it's super cute ribbon. It has little beads on it. I'm going to use my hot glue gun with the Gorilla Glue. I'm going to lay it across the heart where I thought I would like it. Like I said, you can design it however you want. You can add more pieces. I just kind of went simple on my first go around at a mixed media. Then I'm going to go ahead and lay down my little, well, it looks like I needed to decide to dry it a little bit better with my Mod Podge. So you want to make sure that is dry because we will be dry brushing some white on there. And once I looked at it, I realized I really wanted to put some Mod Podge over the lace, the paper doilies to make sure they were more secure. Excuse me. And we're going to go ahead and dry those off. You could do any color you like, any design you like. You just got to be creative. So once that was dry, I decided I was going to go ahead and dry brush a little bit over the paper doilies and over my heart frame, my heart board, whatever you want to call it. I still wanted to be able to see the paper design underneath, but barely, so you have to look to see it and that you'll notice it. So now I'm going to lay my my flower on there. It's kind of vintage looking. I got from Michaels. And I'm going to decide where I want to put some more of my lace ribbon. It's not really lace, I guess, but you know what I mean. Kind of looks that way. So I decided I just wanted to kind of put it across. So I'm going to hot glue it on there. Now when you're hot gluing, you do want to make sure, because you know it seeps through, that you don't burn yourself. So you want to just barely tab down until it dries a little bit. Cut off your ends and then glue those down so they're not sticking out. And there you go. I decided to go ahead and dry brush a little bit more onto my ribbon. And there you go. It's super cute. It was super easy. I decided to add that little flower at the very end. So give it a try. Try the mixed media. It turns out super cute and it's original, and you can add all different kind of pieces in there. So thank you so much. You guys have a good day.